saying, we're bringing them to their knees.
Yeah, but it didn't slow down the Natty Light drinkers at all. They're still right, out there representing Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah, and they switched over to Natty Light and
yeah, sodomy's fine with natural light. They don't care. It's all good then, like love the ladies if you're a lady, love the guys if you're a guy, but not if you're Bud Light.
So we're still making the same amount of money just with different products, so we don't care.
All right. Somebody signed me up for a gay magazine one time. It was called The Advocate, and I read it, and I was loving it. I was like, yeah, well, this is cool, and this is like 25 years ago, and I remember there was a Bud Light advertisement in it, and somebody was pulling one bottle out of the 6-pack, and it said another one coming out. I said that's fan-fucking-tastic. Now, fast forward 25 years later, now everybody's got their fucking panties in a bunch, because Bud Light supports the gay community.
What they really support, which is why these people are protesting, is insane. Is they really support capitalism. Hey, if we do this to this market, we can increase our market share here. We'll make more money. It's pure, unadulterated capitalism. They should support that.
Apparently, they didn't listen to Reagan.
Well,
they've got a duty to their stockholders.
Right, exactly.
And cockholders. Let's say, okay, well, that was oh well. I just made that one.
Hey, stockholders. That sounds like a Hallmark movie.
There we go. Now we're up. There we go. All right. So now we're live on Facebook as well as live on YouTube, which is My Worst Holiday Podcast on YouTube. Today we have Barry Norman back. This fucker is amazing. He's a writer. He's a director. He's got 7 books out. He's got another one coming out called Grandpa's Bad Day. Is that what it is? It's a
bad day for Grandpa. You were close.
I was so fucking close. This is why I'm not a professional, folks. And from a room next to my bathroom in my basement, this is My Worst Holiday, a podcast about your worst wedding, bachelor party, bachelorette party, or whatever's funny after the fact. We want to hear it. Today, Barry Norman, say hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. He's my favorite guy.
Right there, 30 seconds for your first drink with me on the show. Okay, that's a new record.
Actually, I usually get primed. I had 2 Bloody Marys at the golf course before I got out here. So,
excellent.
Yeah, but 2 Bloody Marys and 9 holes, you kind of burn it off. So it's not really.
Okay, so you think the cardio's already burned all that alcohol off? Oh, that's so
yeah.
cute.
Oh yeah, well, they're golf course drinks. It's not like they're pouring you heavy. It's like.
Did they have celery stalks in them?
No, I said no fixins. I like out on a golf course, the last thing you want is like an olive and a celery stalk and a beef jerky or whatever that like loaded up with a straw. You don't want that.
You need the Rodney Dangerfield keg in the bag thing. I was always wondering if any company ever made that with the radio to anyway.
What good love could do.
So what? So let's dance.
So let's dance. Exactly. Fucking love that fucker. Let's see what we got here. No live chats yet. Alrighty. So Barry, you got the floor. Tell us all about you, where you're from, who you are. Do the whole roundabout, and then we'll talk about story time and shit like that. We'll talk about Bud Light more, maybe Natural Light. I want to know what Bud Light seltzers like. Like you think that would be the one that they'd be after?
Bud Light
seltzer. Anyway, go ahead.
A Bud Light seltzer. It's right. It's with tangerine Bud Light. Don't they already actually have a whole set of those hard liquor things or hard spritzers or hard wine coolers or whatever they call them?
Yeah, they do. Actually, they're not too bad. But you think that like, well, no, I'm not. No, not going to do it. So anyway,
no product placement on the show. Oh yeah, huge product placement.
Thank God. Even though I'm drinking, thank God there's a little guy in my head sometimes that goes, "Don't go there," and you go, "Okay."
Thank God you ignore most of the time. Don't go there. Well, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. No, you're not. Don't do it. Yes, you should. Don't. Yeah. Well, okay.
My wife gets mad when the little devil wins.
Really? Or is he, at this point, doesn't he kind of expect it?
Yeah. She goes, "Oh, I drink scotch. I drink a lot of scotch. Tonight I'm drinking a wonderful Irish offering. It's called Paddy's.
But Patty's,
And,
I would guess that was Irish.
Irish, yep.
It's Patty's
And,
sauce, says it.
But when I have too much of it, she says she calls. I turn into Scott. She says, "Your name's Scott." I'm no longer Mark. Now I'm Scott, for short for Scotch, I guess. I don't know. But
Okay, well,
like,
see,
well, Scott's coming out. Time
We
to
wouldn't be
go.
married this long.
Yeah, time for us to leave. Scott's here. You know.
So anyway, you asked me who I am. That's a good question. Let's see. I live in Gloucester, Massachusetts, originally from Brookline. I've been kicked out of every decent state in the country. I lived in Georgia, Florida, Colorado, New York, Connecticut. Let's see, where else have I lived? Maine, where I had a movie theater.
Yes, the movie theater. You still have that, or you got rid of that?
Thank God. Well, when my doggy passed away in 2019, I couldn't take, because he went with me every single day. So I sold that in 2019, thank God, because obviously the pandemic was the following year, and film exhibition has never been the same. You cannot survive, especially with a little single screen theater. So he got me out of that. No, he saved my life in a million ways by forcing me to sell my theater then. I mean, the guy that I sold to, he's still there, but he has more money than me, so he's able to keep it going. It can't stick around much longer. It's just impossible. People aren't going to the movie. I mean, look, the new Raiders of the Lost Ark is dying on the vine. Yeah, people aren't going to see movies anymore. They even the old folks that were my main demographic, after a year and a half of the pandemic shutting down movie theaters, they finally figured out how to stream to their nieces and nephews and grandchildren. Now they go, whoa, I can sit at home, I can pause, I can go to the bathroom, I can drink a whole Paddy's bottle, and it won't matter if I fall asleep because I watch it again the next day. So movie exhibition, as far as I'm concerned, it's on its death rattle. So thank God I'm out of that.
Right.
Now I'm still, this summer, I'm actually trying to produce 3 films because I have the summer off because I'm actually a substitute teacher. That's what I've been doing the last 2 years. I said, let's see, what can you do in your mid-60s? Let's teach a school that's mostly Central, South Americans and Brazilians and Haitians, virtually hardly any of them speak English. And I love this job.
I know you do. The last time you was on, you was a substitute teacher. Like you just started, and you was talking about like dressing up as weird as possible, and they just fucking loved you.
I won best dressed for this past year. So take that for them. So yeah, I did it. I think I told you I did it as a one-off. There were so many fights when I started in 2021. I had purple sneakers just because I had purple sneakers. So I said, I'm going to buy purple socks, purple pants, and a purple shirt. And I'm going to be one day, I'm going to be whatever they want to call me, Prince, the purple A's, the flying purple people eater, the purple idiot. And all of a sudden these students would come up to me and start fist bumping me. Hey, nice drip, sir. I didn't know what that meant. Being an old guy, when you got called a drip, you're fighting. Nice drip, nice fit. They started talking to me. So I realized this actually opened up lines of communication with students. So I became a fan favorite, a baby face in pro wrestling. Then they started hearing about my background, and I worked in the music industry. I worked in television, including the Olympics. I worked, I'm a filmmaker. I own my own movie theater. I worked in aviation. They never heard of that. They were told as, from their parents, you find that one job, whatever it is, and that's what you do. And here I've been all over the place.
That's not what you did. You've done so many things. Everybody, we're talking to Barry Norman. He's a writer, director, actor. He's working on 3 movies right now. Aaron Hawkins is watching. He has a movie out called Evil Lurks. You can find it on Tubi. He's a great guy too. But Barry he's got 7 books out, soon to be 8. And what was it again?
Bad Day for Grandpa.
Bad Day for Grandpa. That's right. Bad Day for Grandpa. I did every fucking thing I could do to put that cover on my Facebook. And for the fucking life of me, I could not get it up there. I got the whole bio. I got your MIMBD. I got everything up there. And I swear to God, I was ready to throw my fucking phone across the fucking field. I was losing my shit.
I think I can tell you why that was. That's the first of all my covers that I designed myself. So whatever I did to create that obviously does not integrate with
Dude,
social media.
You had a gun at my fucking head. Like, I'll fucking do it. I swear to God, I'll fucking do it if that fucking picture don't get up there. Like, I mean, I tried every fucking thing, and it just wouldn't plant. And
So
I'm
you
like,
were able to see it?
This is part of what he's on for. This has to go up there. And like after 4 fucking hours, I threw my phone to the back seat. Like I was even in my car trying to like fuck it, god damn it, like fuck.
No, when I finally sent it to your email, I kept on trying to send it to you on Facebook Messenger. That's how we were able to finally actually open it and see it.
Mm-hmm. And I did. And I took a picture of it. And then I went on Facebook. And I tried to go, and then the picture thing wouldn't come up to where I could bring it back on. I took a snapshot. And like, I can't fuck up a snapshot. And then it still wouldn't fucking go. And I'm like, I'm serious, man. I was fucking absolutely out of my fucking, that's why I went golfing. Like,
I drove you to golf.
Yes. I'm like, I got to get a cocktail. I got to get out in nature because like I'm losing my shit.
Well, like the only thing I can say is since that's the only cover that I designed myself, I finally got one of those websites where design your own cover. Okay. And I did it and I actually liked it. And right, that's everybody. The only one you can't put up there.
Here is the fucking cover. You can't stop me from doing this, you fucking bricks. So here is the cover of Barry's new book that's coming out, Bad Day for Grandpa. As soon as it hits, this guy is a genius. So you need to read everything that this guy does. So, yeah. So anyway.
Well, this book is different because this is a compilation of all my short stories. So I have no idea. Now, the title came from this. When I was living in Maine, there was a store across the street called Cool as a Moose. It just sold stuff that was like for Maine. So I was there one day with my dog, and all of a sudden these two customers, one was talking to the other, and he said, yeah, that sounds like a bad day for Grandpa. So I just wrote that down. For some reason, I liked that as a title. I had no idea how I was going to use it. So I have all these short stories that I've written over the years. Most of them are funny. One is actually a long short story, which is kind of serious. It kind of combines.
You got to like ideas. A long short story.
It's 10,000 words. That's like the longest you can possibly have of any publication that publishes short stories. That's it. And that they will have to break it up into parts to do it. But most of it are really, really short stories that I hope are funny. I finally decided, are you old enough to remember the TV show, The Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
Yes.
Well, every episode had a title for it, right? Like this episode is Nice Day But Don't Rain. At some point in that episode, one of the characters will say, Nice Day But Don't Rain. So I decided I actually have to have a story that's about a bad day for Grandpa. So I asked ChatGPT.
I think The Man from U.N.C.L.E. kind of set the standard for that. And then Police Squad would do it, but they do the opposite of it.
Like the opposite of what they would avoid any words.
Like from Police Squad, they'd make the title for it, but it had absolutely nothing to do with the fucking episode.
Oh, well, that's kind of what Bad Day for Grandpa is until I decided I got to do the Man from U.N.C.L.E. thing. So I asked ChatGPT, which has actually become the bane of my existence as a teacher because these kids, some of them, they don't speak English well, use it to write their papers, so we've had to block it. So I asked it to write, I said, write me a 3,000-word short story about a bad day for Grandpa. So, of course, it wrote me the Hallmark version, all the bad things like he trips in the kitchen and he spills his cereal all over the place. It's things like that happen to it. So 3/4 of the way, I decided I can't let this be the entire short story, Bad Day for Grandpa. So I take over the writing. So, of course, at that point, I turn it into the most horrible, bizarre, sexually incomparable crap that could happen to Grandpa. So there is actually a story. If someone is saying no, because that's not until the very end. Why the hell am I waiting?
Are we going back into the Bud Light thing with what happened to Grandpa sexually, or are we
Right.
going back into maybe the natural light thing that happened to Grandpa naturally? Are we seltzering Grandpa?
Well, I guess a little bit of both. It basically has a next door neighbor,
Oh,
who comes into the picture. The fence thing, the whole Wilson from or whatever, Tool Time. So there's a
yeah.
next door neighbor, and somehow Bad Dave or Grandpa, everything that happens to him in the house spills over into with the neighbor next door.
All right.
And so
Well, then
it's,
the neighbor
it's
said, "Do you like
right.
Bud Light?" It's like in theater. No, okay, all right. Just
I heard someone say Bud Light. Are they offering, or I mean, yes, we will drink Bud Light on the show.
The neighbor offered. If you're in the GOP, if you're offered a Bud Light, obviously now.
Well, since I haven't yet published the book, I can change it to that. I kind of like that.
Really?
Introduce a Bud Light into Bad Day for Grandpa.
Barry,
And maybe neighbors see him having a Bud Light.
If you allow me to write lines in your book, I will be forever grateful. Like oh my God, I've got a credit, like of some sort. It's like
you will absolutely. I might dedicate the book to you.
Right. Fuck you. Right now, like I'm completely creditless. That's what I am.
Okay. Well, no, I'm going to, since I haven't published this book yet. I was planning on doing it this fall. I am definitely going to put parts of Bad Day for Grandpa, the final story that ChatGPT wrote part of and I wrote part of. You are now a partial writer to that story, which means
you're full of shit. You are full of shit.
I am not full of shit. When this book comes out, well, we can do another. I know 2 times in 1 year might be too much me for your podcast, but I guarantee you that is getting in the book.
I can never get enough you.
Oh God, help
now
us.
Oh, I got a credit. Looks like I made it.
You are not getting credit. I'm not, because I actually haven't a dedication to this book. Who I might actually but not only you get a writer's credit for the book, I might dedicate the book. Why not? I mean, if I'm going to get you in there, and we're going to have Bud Light in there, and who knows what kind of lawsuit that may lead to, which would be great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get a share in I get a credit, but I also get a share in the the lawsuit.
Right, I got a credit in the book, and Bud Light got product.
You're breaking up, buddy.
All I got was this lousy my. See, once we start talking lawsuits, it blanks us out.
Yeah, that's what I said, because I kept going, like.
Are you on a 30-second legal delay just in case I say something worse than you?
I think it's the internet going, stay on the Bud Light thing. So like,
stay on the Bud Light thing or get off the Bud Light thing.
Stay on the Bud Light thing. Yeah, like
stay on the Udbay Itlay. Wait a minute, that's actually a good name for a beer. Udbay Itlay.
Yeah. Okay, fucking any brewers out there, we just trademarked that Big Latin beer. That's our idea.
That's right. It is fixed in a tangible format. We have copyrighted it.
That is our idea.
It's our idea. You can't take it. You can't sue us. You can't do any. Oh my God, this book is going to be my biggest seller.
I like to drink Itch Slay.
It's light.
Itch Slay. Schlitz.
Oh, does Schlitz still make a beer? Is Schlitz still around?
Oh yeah, and it's really good.
How about Narragansett? Are they still around?
Who?
Oh, that tells me everything about Narragansett. There used to be a beer called Narragansett. Now, have you heard of Carling Black Label?
Yes.
Black Label.
Okay, after I tell this story, I got to get a fan because it's hot as fucking here.
Right.
But here's the thing. Black Label, like back in the late 80s, early 90s, we used to hang out at the lake, and somebody would stay on the shore, and we'd be floating around these lakes. They're strip mine lakes, and they're clean as fuck. Like at night, you can see your feet when you're like hanging onto an inner tube. You can see your feet at night. Clean. Beautiful lakes. And somebody, you yell, beer me, and somebody would throw like an old Milwaukee or a Natty Light, and they'd hit the water, and then they'd pop up. Of course, it's gonna foam, but it doesn't matter. You're in the water. Beer Me, Black Label, steel can. Whoop!
Death charge.
Straight to the fucking butt. We're like, it took us like 4 or 5 to learn that Black Label don't fucking float. Like,
that's the best thing that could have happened to you. Black Label Brewery is actually in Massachusetts on Lake Scituate, the most polluted lake ever. We would go out there as teens to Carling Black Label for the beer tour. It was one of those things. Who could actually stomach drinking an entire can of Black Label? It's that bad, and I'm putting in the book. I'm going to have Bud Light or no. They're all going in. They're all going in the final story. Bad Day for Grandpa. Half written by GBT. Half written by you. Half written. Wait. Half and half and half. No, okay. Math is never my best subject.
You want to go quarter? Maybe like mathematically. I'm just saying. Maybe if you can find another, a fourth, you got a whole book. So,
well, we can Yogi Bear it up. 90% of writing is 10% mental.
And I suck at math. I mean, really, really bad. Like, yeah, terrible. So,
well, right. not as bad as me. I mean, I actually had to at the beginning of this last year. They had me teaching chemistry for 2 months. I haven't had chemistry for 50 months.
Chemistry?
It's a lot of math. I bought a book, Chemistry for Dummies, and that didn't help. I mean, you're not quite as dumb as as they think, or I actually am dumber than to read a book, Chemistry for Dummies, and be able to teach it to kids mostly from Central and South America and Haiti. So that didn't go very well, teaching chemistry. They're trying to get people to teach science or math.
What was that Leonardo DiCaprio movie, the Catch Me If You Can or whatever?
Right.
He just read the chapter ahead, and then came in. So yeah, exactly. Chemistry for Dummies.
Frank Abagnale, he would actually be able to teach them. Like, he was a lawyer, passed the bar. He actually fooled into becoming a doctor. So he actually would have been able to teach chemistry.
Right,
I not so much.
Right. I got to get a fan because I'm going to fucking die if I don't. I will be back in a minute and a half.
Okay, so I have 90 seconds to amuse people, huh? Should I just start singing the theme song from Jeopardy?
Just entertain everybody, Barry. Do a song, do a dance.
They don't want to hear me sing.
I don't know what you guys do. It's
Does anyone out there know Hava Nagil? He did the first couple of bars. No? Okay. Well, let's see. I can tell you about some of these movies that I'm trying to produce. One of them is called Demolition Dance. It's about a guy that owns a garage with his dad, and he put it in such bad financial straits that he figured out the only way he can make the money to save his garage is he has to win the local demolition derby that has a huge payoff at the end. He's won this demolition derby the last 10 years in a row, but for some reason he did something bad, and the company that has the demolition derby won't let him drive in it, but he has to have a family member who is going. So he decided it's going to be his cousin. His cousin was this all takes place in Buffalo. And his cousin went off to become a dance choreographer and had some big music videos with Jennifer Lopez. But in his heart, he's still a Buffalo guy that says D's and Dems and Does and drinks Natty Light. So he is going to be the driver of the demolition derby. And by the way, he's gay. So this guy, a friend of mine on Facebook, he reaches out to me to try to cast the gay choreographer who's going to be the demolition derby driver to try to save their garage, because he knows I used to work in professional wrestling. So he wants Chris Jericho to be is actually the main star of this movie, Demolition Dance, to be the gay choreographer who's sucked up all his money by starting a dance studio. But he's going to be the driver in the demolition derby to try to save his first cousin's garage. So I contacted a guy I haven't spoken to in years who he used to be a writer for the Miami Herald. He had a professional wrestling column. He's now one of the people that started AEW. So I haven't spoken to him to years. I emailed him because I still had that. He answered me right away. He gave me the Chris Jericho's agent's number. So if Chris Jericho accepts the part, I get a producer's credit for being the one that got Chris Jericho, professional wrestler, to star as a gay choreographer, demolition driver.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
It would definitely.
That would be great. Jericho could do a flamboyant character perfectly. That guy, I think he could. I think he could do that very well.
Well, it'd be perfect because he's flamboyant for being a choreographer, but he still has he is his family's first cousin from Buffalo. He took elocution lessons, so he didn't continue to talk like this. And as he's going along, working with his cousin again, his accent starts coming back. He starts talking to Dems and D's. He starts drinking beer instead of a nice single malt scotch. So I read the script. It seemed interesting. It seemed like, okay, it's like, this sounds like it could have been a Burt Reynolds movie from the 70s. You take Demolition Derby and you take a guy, he's gay only as a part of who he is. It's not like his part is going to be this out there flamboyant, oh my God, I'm that. It just happens to be part of who he is.
All right.
So in other words, he doesn't think the LGBTQ community would say, what the hell are you doing here? Because it puts him in a very, very positive light.
Every time I do like a gay character, like I always try to push it like over, like drag queen type over, always like do it just well, obviously my humor is real subtle, so everything I do is kind of big, but I would love to see Jericho in that. That would be fantastic. And what's the name of it?
It's called Demolition Dance.
Demolition Dance. Everybody, we are talking to Barry Norman. He is fantastic. He's done, I think he's done everything but Coal Mine. That's the one thing he hasn't done. Yeah, he hasn't coal mined yet. He's a writer, director, actor. He launched the band Live. He launched the band Four Non Blondes. So every time you hear that fucking song, what's up? It's that fucker's fault. He was syndicated across the United States as a DJ for a while. He's got 7 books out. He's got one coming out called Bad Day for Grandpa, and that's fantastic. I got a picture of it on my phone. I'll show it again because I can't fucking put it on my Facebook. And
it melted your face, and it melted your computer, didn't it? Well, since you brought up my 1992 nationally syndicated alternative radio show, that's one of the movies I'm trying to produce. I didn't write the script. One of my employees at my movie theater, he says he wanted to be a writer. So I said, hey, write this story. So he interviewed me over several months. He wrote it. I refused to read it because in case he puts me in a bad light, because that's what he got from me, I didn't want to change it. But I did send it to some directors, some known directors. One director who said he's very, very, very interested. I don't know if a lot of your viewers will know who he is because he's 83 years old now. But the movies that he directed Bang the Drum Slowly. That came out in the 70s. Bang the Drum Slowly.
Oh, okay.
That's Robert De Niro's first starring role.
Right.
He grabbed him from Francis Ford Coppola, who had him in a minor role in The Godfather. And John Hancock, who was the director, he was talking to Coppola, says, if you let me have De Niro, this is a starring role, he says, that would be great. So Coppola then talked to De Niro, says, listen, you're not going to be in The Godfather Part 1. He says, I will remember you because I have a sequel in mind. I'll remember you for Part 2. And we know how that came out. But he did Bang the Drum Slowly, which is a brilliant movie. De Niro plays a major league professional baseball catcher. But at the beginning of the movie, he finds out he's dying of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So that was John Hancock's first big movie. He also did a psychological thriller called Let's Scare Jessica to Death. So I don't know if people have seen that, but it was a fairly decent movie when it came out. And the one movie that most people may have seen is he directed Prancer, which every Christmas it's one that makes the.
Prancer?
He directed Prancer. So John Hancock, who's like that, he's 83. It's been a while since he's done it. He's still directing movies, but I sent him the script and he loved it. So I'm hoping that we can get financing based on he is a known director. He's had films that have done very well. Bang the Drum Slowly did well when it came out. Vincent Gardenia was in it. Michael Moriarty was in it. It's a great film. It's like De Niro's first starring role. And I think, as a former wrestling publicist, I think we'd be able to get play out of an 83-year-old man directing a movie about the alternative music scene in the 90s. But I don't think it will matter if he doesn't know the bands or not. He still will be able to direct a movie with that is a major part in it. I mean, I'll be picking licensing will be the biggest expense in that movie. You can't do that movie without having Nirvana in it, or
Right.
Soundgarden, or
Hey,
some of the.
did Bobby Darin sing that first? No, he did not. No, he didn't.
So that's the second movie I'm trying to produce. And the third one is actually another substitute teacher that started working this year, a 21-year-old girl from Bosnia. So she's been talking to me about Bosnia, and that's where she went back home for the summer. I said, we need to do a documentary on Bosnia. She said she was telling me about how horrible it is for women there, how she would like to pull them back into the 21st century. She'd actually be happy with the 19th century. They're very, very touchy. If you start bringing up things like about how misogynistic it is there, you cannot discuss the war in the 90s. Bill Clinton was helping them out. But so we're trying to do a movie based on this. And since she refuses and she says none of her friends would be on camera, the entire movie is going to be Bosnian news broadcast or entertainment. She says they have like a show very much like American Idol here, only for Bosnian talent. And they said if you're a woman, they will make you dress up in like a short skirt, do all kinds of hoochie coochie mama things. That's what they spread out of their female talent. So those are the three, Demolition Dance, about a gay demolition driver. Hopefully, the second movie about my radio show in the 90s, hopefully directed by John Hancock, who did Bang the Drum Slowly. And then a Bosnian documentary about how bad it is in Bosnia. And the only way we can show it is actually showing their TV broadcast that we get on YouTube, or that she will actually take her cell phone and watch herself. So that's the three movies I'm hoping to do, plus the book, plus what else am I doing? I'm still trying to get my play out there based on the Montreal Screwjob of professional wrestling. Yeah, because since I got Barry Bloom, the guy who's representing Chris Jericho, I said I may as well send this to him. So if he likes it, all of a sudden he can completely cast it out of AEW wrestlers. If they don't want to do it in theater, they can actually do it on demand. So those are the 5 things. I know 3 movies, 1 play, and let's see what else, and 1 book. So that's the only thing I'm doing this summer.
Oh, is that all?
And I'm plus doing this podcast. So you have to book me a year in advance, which is why I got the time.
And I did my worst holiday. Okay. Yeah,
well,
exactly.
I did go holidays this year. Last year, and this year, I crossed off states number 49 and 50. I went to Alaska last August, and I went to Hawaii this past February. And unfortunately for you, they were both fantastic, other than the fact that I went by myself because no one will be seen with me anywhere. But they were great. No, Alaska, I did get to see. No, they were Borealis.
You're a very handsome fella, and look at
look at this. All this can be yours. Someone out there.
Who doesn't want to date a handsome Jewish substitute teacher? That's what I want to ask.
Well, put it this way: when you say, "Hey, would you like to go to Alaska and Hawaii?" and they go with you, and that's the deal breaker.
That's it.
I'm going with you, right? Now, the flight attendant on my way to Hawaii did like me.
Oh, nice.
And she was actually my age. She was actually a 65-year-old flight attendant, did not look 65.
Right, and you don't either. You look like you're my age, which is 55.
Well, that's because you never see me on a show that has good lighting. So, I mean, this is you can't see how old I really am. That's why I love being a substitute teacher. Your hair's
still dark on top. God damn. You're like
you know how much drugs and stuff I put in my hair and take to keep that hair?
Yeah. All right.
It's a thing. It's a real thing. I get to write it off since my being in film depends on it, obviously.
Right.
So I get to write off all the Rogaine, all the Propecia, all that stuff. But yeah, going to Girl Says, Alaska, and I'd be going with you. I just want to make clear on this, you. And I'm saying that when I was asking women if they wanted to go with me to Alaska or Hawaii, they wanted to make sure you're not sending me with someone else. You're part of this package deal.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not an all expense paid tour with the person you like the most to my dream vacation. So
I did say you'll have your own room. I get it. That's too creepy to say, yes, we're going to, even if there's double bed, you'll have, no, still not. Okay. So I went by myself. It was fantastic on both of them. Even though, I mean, Hawaiians are the friendliest people on the planet. Now, Alaskans don't trust anybody. So I almost got shot a couple of times in Alaska because that was a mountain cabin because you wanted to go where it's the most, I don't know, less city so you can see the northern lights. So while taking walks, it was so beautiful. Every now and again, someone who actually lives there would see me. You know, they know I don't live on that mountain because there's only 5 people in the whole goddamn mountain, and I ain't one of them.
And you're not one of them. Yes, exactly.
So they would see me, and all of a sudden I hear someone like I say, "Hey, get the shotgun."
You're not a muckluck. Yeah.
And I guess in the right landing, I can pass it to Moose.
No. I'm Muckluck's cousin. Just go ask him.
I thought that was the Moose call or the Moose dance. But they other than the fact that they were by myself, you know, they were fantastic vacations. And I don't know when my next one will be since I can't do airlines anymore. They're just too hard on me.
Can't do airlines anymore.
Can't do flying anymore. The 2 hours you spend, plus you always get delays. You know, coming back from Hawaii, you know, the plane was delay like 5-6 times. So then you miss your connection. So then you have to try to reconnect.
Oh, did you fly American, did you?
Actually, yes, I did.
Yes, you did. You flew
American.
American.
The only time I've ever flown American was
right. Well, Barry, what did we learn today? Don't fucking fly American.
Well, didn't Hawaiian Airlines have a recent horrible landings or some door came off or something like that? Or
I don't know. All I know is American is never on time. There was a comedian that did a whole thing he'd flown American so many times, he's used to it. And he's in the airport, and he goes, this is where they're gonna tell everybody that it's gonna be 4 more hours and everybody's gonna lose their shit. And he just turned the camera around and they said, we're real sorry. It's going to be about 4 more hours. And you hear everybody just, but the guy was so used to it. He's like, this is where it happens every fucking time.
Well, it was hard. The one bad thing I was at Kona Island, which is not the big touristy place. The airport there is open air. So you're sitting out, it wasn't raining or anything like that, but it's humid as you can imagine. So you're sitting there, delayed. You just the schwitzing buckets sitting in this horrible airport. That's was made in the 60s. Half of it is, half the bathrooms are out of commission. So you actually have to go 4 miles trying to find it.
Right.
So that was that's why I just can't do that anymore. That and I just can't. I mean, unless they did bump me up on one of the flights to first class because I wore what I call my Skittles. That's what I call my outfits for school because they're all rainbow colors. I said that's my Skittles outfit. I wore that on the plane just to see what would happen, to see if I get the same response that I get from the students. Now, when I found out they had
this is what I love about you. You're like, you know what? I'm going to wear something really fucked up just to have people look and say things. And
I was curious.
You look for I got a chicken shirt. My wife won't let me fucking wear it. I'm like,
well, my pants were bright lime green. My sneakers were bright and pink as you can imagine. I had a psychedelic shirt that the Grateful Dead wouldn't wear. So this is my outfit. So when I found there was opening in first class, they hadn't sold out, and everyone on the plane was dressed like my students. They were all in sweatshirts, sweatpants, and I'm the guy with the lime green, the pink, and then the swirlies. So yes, sir, come on. So I was a hit on the plane because no one else.
This is why I love you, Barry Norman. This is why I love you.
See, I was thinking of wearing that for the show, and instead I said I'm going to pretend I'm a rocker and wear my Who shirt.
Right.
See, aren't I cool?
Everybody's going to wear maybe not a Who shirt, but like Nike or Adidas or whatever, just your, like the shit I would wear. Your normal drab shit. My
Well,
wife
the
won't
bad
let me
thing
wear my
about this
crazy
Who
shit.
shirt, it's old. This shirt is from 1981, but that was when Kenny Jones was a drummer, not Keith Moon. So it's not even a cool Who shirt that I said I got this when
Right.
Because
apparently
was
Keith,
drumming.
because apparently Keith couldn't breathe anymore.
Right.
So yeah.
But still, for a 1981 shirt, no.
I don't have a shirt from 81. I don't have a shirt from 81. All my concert shirts are gone. I don't know where they fucking went. I got like an Aerosmith one. I've got a Guns N' Roses one. And I've got, what else? Queensryche. I got a Queensryche one. Fucking love Queensryche.
My oldest shirt is my 1976 Wings Over America security, because I was security for the Wings Over America concert at Boston Garden. Now, in my previous shows, did I ever tell you my Aerosmith story? No.
You tell your Aerosmith story, then I'll tell my Aerosmith story.
Okay, so my Aerosmith story is this. In high school, I was a teeny tiny guy that everyone used to pick on, beat up. Even when I finally grew a foot, I went from 5'3" to 6'3", by sophomore to junior year. Anyway, I was friends with this girl named Nikki Jarrett, and she invited me to a party, and nobody invites me to parties. So I went to this party, and I'm talking to her. And at this time, I finally made a decision in my life. I said, I don't care if I get my ass kicked. I'm going to defend myself if someone starts to bully me. I said, I'd rather get my ass kicked, at least trying to get one shot in, than just being, please don't hit me again, or they'll give up when I'm down on the ground and they're smacking me. So I said no more. So I basically, that was the night I'm going to a party by myself.
You went all dazed and confused.
Yep, I made, exactly. I'm Adam Goldberg and Dazed and Confused, except no, I thought I get that one place in, and then you know what I'm saying to her.
You know what? At least I was going to fight him up.
Right. So that was kind of my thing. So anyway, I'm talking to Nikki Jarrett, and this guy pushes me, goes, hey, man, that's my girlfriend. Well, it turns out it's Steven Tyler. So this is just before Aerosmith was.
Wait, back up. I missed something here.
Yes.
I was still talking about the Goldberg character.
Right. You're talking about I'm doing Dazed and Confused. I don't care. I can't be an impotent nobody the rest of my life. And I can see this. I see the scar tissue already forming from what this guy did. So I made the decision that night. I'm in a party. Something's going to happen to me, because it always does. If someone does something to me, that's it. I'm going to do something. So it just happened to be Steven Tyler pushing me because he was all drunk, screwed up, high, whatever. And I was talking to his girlfriend, a high school girl at the time. And I said, it starts here. Boom! I just hit him once in the jaw, straight down.
You punched Steven Tyler?
I punched him out. I knocked his ass out.
You punched Steven Tyler?
I punched Steven Tyler and knocked him right out. One and done. So there. And I did not upset the herd. They were like, whoa! Because he wasn't Steven Tyler yet. He was just short of being Steven Tyler.
Oh, no shit. That was like 1973?
That's exactly when it was.
73, right before Dream On came out.
It was 72, 73, because I was either a sophomore, I think it was my sophomore year, 72. So, yeah.
All right. So my biggest claim to fame is I punched the fittest man in the world in the head. And
Steven Tyler, because he
was not Steven Tyler, but he kicked my ass after. His name's Joe Decker, and he came from my high school back in my little town of Cuba. Like we got into a punch, push, and I'm like, fuck it, pow! And this guy could deadlift 450 fucking pounds, and and he pushed me in a corner and just started fucking whooping my ass. And then the shop teacher came outside and broke it up, But he had a big old fucking bruise on the side of his head, and this is before he was this is high school, so it was way before he was the fittest man on the earth by Guinness Book of World Records.
Wow! So at least you got one shot in. Two guys.
I got one shot in. That was the only shot I got, and that did not knock him out. By the way, he fucking thumped me. But my Aerosmith story is this: we're going to see Aerosmith and Ted Nugent, and fuck Ted Nugent. But anyway, we're sneaking out onto we got Upper Bowl seats, and we're sneaking down onto the floor. Now, this concert was fucking amazing, by the way. And we get down to the bottom of the steps, and we're just gonna like flash our ticket and try to get by the dude or whatever. And Aerosmith's just coming on, and there's a big curtain up, and these lights are going down, going boom, 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 boom with these lights, boom, 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 and they're just going up and down and up and down and up and down, and then all of a sudden, bang! Like I get hit from behind hard. And I turn around, and this guy's like fucking waving at me, like, don't fucking punch me. And he like points down to the ground. This dude's just fucking on the ground, fucking laid out. Like he did a tumble down the stairs, put an elbow in the back of my fucking neck. And then I just went like fucking out. And my buddy's like fucking shaking me. I like come to, and like my head's like jogging around. He like brings me back awake. And I'm like, what? Oh, fuck. You know, like, where am I? I'm at a concert. Okay, fuck. I don't know what's going on. And I see another, like one of my buddies like sneaking off through the stands. And my buddy Brad Lenhausen grabs me and just drags me through the fucking stands. But yeah, I got knocked the fuck out at the Aerosmith concert.
Oh, but it wasn't Steven Tyler.
No. I did not get a punch, Steven Tyler. My story is significantly less than yours. Yes.
I wouldn't say less. I mean, it's still, I mean, I'm glad that happened to you and not me, because that's the type of thing I was expecting to happen and at any party that I show up at. Now, my second fight that I won in high school, the guy also became, not quite as famous, but he became famous.
My only regret with this is I didn't tell my story first. Because yours was so much fucking better.
See, you're being a good host. You're allowing me to tell a good story, and then you're following up with something that on any other occasion would have been the lead.
Would have been great.
You're building me up, so I appreciate that. You're definitely getting the dedication in the book.
I went and seen Local H and Soul Asylum. Local H opened up for Soul Asylum.
Right.
Soul Asylum opening up for Local H would have been great. But no, the band that blew the fucking roof off the place opened. And then you got Soul Asylum. We sell misery.
I never got Soul Asylum, why that they were a thing.
I liked them, but everybody left. Everybody fucking left. Like if Soul Asylum would have opened, fine. But you got Local H that comes out, two guys, a guitarist and a drummer, blows the fucking roof off the place. And then you bring out, we could build a factory and sell misery.
Yeah, I like it. The only thing I liked about Soul Asylum.
So this is the way it went down. You told the greatest fucking story, and I'm fucking Soul Asylum on the backside.
Trying to follow that.
Yes.
At least you're still a Soul Asylum. When all is said and done, you still get the bigger paycheck at the end of the night. So there's that, right? You're still dating. What's her name? Winona Ryder.
Is somebody gonna pay me? Anyone? Can I get some? Yeah.
Well,
going back. Your second story, Steven Tyler. Second story.
My second fight that I won, not quite as good, but he did end up being famous. Mike Dukakis was the governor of Massachusetts. He went on to become the presidential candidate. It wasn't him, but it was son John Dukakis. Now, John Dukakis did have a mini acting career that wasn't too bad. He was a guest star on Cheers. He was a guest star on Taxi, and he was in, what was the worst Jaws movie? Jaws 3. So he was one of the stars of Jaws 3. So his dad was the governor.
Was he Carla's son?
Is he what?
Was he Carla's son?
No, he wasn't one of Carla's son. He was just he was a handsome guy that came in there for some reason.
All right. Because I can almost see Dukakis and Carla's son being like kind of the.
He does kind of look like a Tortelli, yeah.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I mean, not a bad, credits on IMDb. And the fact that his dad was governor, his dad was, the failed presidential candidate, but he was still a presidential candidate.
Horrible.
So we were on the same JV tennis team in high school, and we had a permit to use these courts and kick people out. And our coach wasn't there with the permit, so I said, "Screw it." He's like, "Let's just kick everyone out anyway." And John Dukakis, being the politician, says, "Oh no, we must go through proper channels. We must do." And I go, "Oh, shut up." So I just pushed him, and he decides, no, give me this little weak ass hit in the shoulder. And at this time, I've already made. I don't care. You touch me, I'm hitting you. So I don't knock him out with one punch, but I hit him hard enough with one punch where he disappeared. So fighting. So I'm 2-0 against famous people. Would have been 3-0. I have one more funny famous person in high school story. Anyway, I told you I was a nerdy, skinny guy that all the bullies used to like to beat up. And one day this guy is in high school walking around. He's got a suit, he's got a bow tie, he's got red hair, and he's got a briefcase. So I don't know where he is. He looks like he's too young to be in high school, so he's obviously visiting. So I decide I'm going to pick on this schmuck. So I start chasing him. I go, "Hey, yo, get over, yo!" So he starts seeing me. He starts running. So he goes by the stairwell that the bullies are in. The bullies see me chasing this little geek, and they go, "Hey, what do you think you're doing? Like, how dare you?" So they start beating the crap out of me. The guy that was visiting the campus, because like I said, it turns out he's several years younger than me, was Conan O'Brien.
Oh, no way! Oh, no way!
Conan, well, once again, he's from Brookline, Mass., same as me. So he went to Brookline High just years after I was there, but he was on campus, and I took one look at him, and I said, "Yeah, I can take this schlub." And that's what happened. I got the crap kicked out of me for daring chase Conan O'Brien around Brookline High School when I don't know why.
You almost beat up the funniest fucking man on earth.
Who knew?
Conan fucking O'Brien.
The whitest.
So you pushed out Steven Tyler.
I knocked out Steven Tyler. I get it. I win a fight against John Dukakis. That's.
Yeah, well, yeah, not John Dukakis, and you almost beat up fucking Conan, beautiful Conan O'Brien.
He's Conan O'Brien around Brookline High School.
Hero. This is the guy I want to be, other than you. The guy I want to be when I grow up. This is you fucking was chasing down Conan O'Brien.
Was chasing down Conan. If the only thing he ever did was write the monorail program for The Simpsons, he would have been big enough. But no, he had to go and become Conan O'Brien. Go to Saturday Night Live, be a writer there, and then become Conan O'Brien. So, yeah, I mean, he definitely got the last laugh. I think I got the last laugh on Steven Tyler because he kind of looks like, who does he look like now? He looks like someone's grandmother. He does not look well.
Is he like right at your age, or no? He's got to be old. He's got to be like 70 something, isn't he?
He's in his 70s. The hair is still long, but it doesn't quite work. He's got the.
I'll tell you what, man. His voice still fucking. There's got to be. He can't be doing that still. Like
you can't sing like that. I mean, I saw David Lee Roth in the 80s, and he lost it by then.
God, yeah. Oh, yeah. I seen the Eat 'em and Smile tour. So the Eat 'em and Smile tour. Here it is. Last time I got high was at a concert. It was a David Lee Roth concert. And there was this giant black gentleman next to me, and he had this Rising Sun t-shirt on that had the sleeves cut off. Right. And for some reason, I just decided I'm not going to smoke pot anymore. It was like a thing that I just did. Like it made me feel full. Like when I drank beer, like I couldn't fart or burp. I just felt bloated when I smoked pot, which I like smoking pot, but I felt bloated. Okay. So I'm standing here next to this big black guy, and he sparks this doob and he hands it to me, and I go, "Nah, man, I just quit." And then he took his backside of his elbow, like this backside of his forearm, and he fucking went, boom, and he hit me in the chest, and it shook my entire fucking body, like,
for daring to turn down his.
And then he handed it to me again, and I went, "I'm quitting tomorrow." So that was the last time I got high off a joint. So,
and that was what, 2 nights ago?
No, that was 91.
Wow, it's been a while.
Yeah, eat them and smile. Yeah, eat them and smile.
Okay, when David Lee Roth could still actually sing.
Yeah.
Now, you see what he looks. Have you seen a recent picture of him?
God, he looks
You know
like
who
my
he
grandma.
looks like? Looks just like Dr. Zachary Smith of Lost in Space.
Mm-mm. Oh, the pain. Oh, the pain.
I mean, rock stars don't age well. Well, Keith Richards is still alive somehow, but I mean, even what didn't Mick Jagger just have another kid at age 78 or
I
whatever
don't
he
know.
is?
Like somebody else did too, like De Niro or somebody else. Like,
Nero and
why are
Pacino
you
both
having
had
fucking
kids in their late 70s.
What the fuck are you doing?
Well, people say me because I'm going to be 66 and I don't have any kids. They say there's still time for you. I don't want to be that guy.
My first kid is at 40. My only kid was at 40. And then they said, are you going to have another? I'm like, are you fucking kidding? No.
So, see, my dad was 40 when he had me. So when I hit 40, I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I saw what happened to me having a 40-year-old dad. No.
Yeah, the time has passed. The time has fucking passed. Exactly.
People say, are you sure you don't have any kids out there? I said, with 23andMe, with the internet, if I did something in the 70s, they would have tracked my ass down. They would have found, oh, he writes books. Oh, he owns a movie theater. They would have tracked me down. So if they're,
my wife's like, do you want to do? Yeah, my wife's like, do you want to do 23andMe? And I'm like, no. Like, I know my heritage, and they're like, and if I have a kid, apparently whoever I had the kid with didn't want me fucking part of it. So no.
Well, I didn't do it, but
I don't want any surprises now. You know, like
my ex-wife did it for me. And we were talking just this last week, and I found out something I didn't know. My mother also went to Brooklyn High School, same as me, right? Same as Conan O'Brien, same as Robert Kraft, same as who else? Barbara Walters. I mean, there's the list of famous people that went to Brookline High School. Right. I had no idea that my mom went there as well. Obviously, not at the same time. That would have been kind of weird. But no, she.
Yes, Barry, that would have been odd.
That would have been odd.
I went to high school with my mom.
So, yeah.
What? That's Hollywood shit right there. That's Hollywood shit.
Well, that could have happened. She could have had me when she was 10, and they wanted to double promote me, and my dad said no. He's so small as it is, and we skip him 2 grades. So yeah, it could have happened. I could have skipped enough grades when my mom and I are in high school together. That would have been great. If someone bullies me, and my mom comes over and kicks their ass. Well, who do you think you are? I'm his mother.
I'm his mother. You leave my boy alone.
But you're 13 and he's never mind. I don't want to know how this is working.
Look. I'm not going to do the fucking math here. I'm just saying, leave my boy alone.
You already established neither one of us is good at math, but I don't think if she had me at 10, we'd ever be in high school together unless I skipped 5 grades. Yeah, okay.
Right.
So you're not going to do 23andMe.
Either way, Barry, it makes for great humor. We'll just roll with it. So.
Okay. So let's see. That's so those are the only fights that I won. Almost. Well, I got beaten up with the Conan O'Brien thing. But like I said, technically 3 out of 3 people all became more famous than me. So if you want to become famous, let me either chase you around my high school or kick you out. Kick your ass, and there's a good chance you'll go on to greater things. Are you getting calls like, hey, I'll let him kick my ass.
I want to do this. Joe Finfera is watching. Joe Finfera, how are you doing, buddy? We are talking to Barry Norman. He's a writer, director, actor. This guy has done it all. He's got 7 books out, got an 8th one coming out. Second, A Bad Day for Grandpa. This guy's worked in the WCW. Was it
WCW?
And he's got several plays in the works. He's got 3 movies in the works. He's got 1 movie out called Deadbeats with one Nick fucking Foley.
And do you remember the co-star?
No.
It was Melissa McBride. This movie came out in 1997. Melissa McBride is Carol from The Walking Dead.
From The Walking Dead. That's right. From The Walking Dead.
I cast Mick before he became Mankind, and I cast Carol before she became Carol. So that's why the movie decades later has found a life, because people, it somehow got uploaded on the internet. People found that, oh my God, Calvin the Walking Dead. So there's people that's made Facebook pages dedicated to my movie. I'm not making any money from it, but at least every now and again I'll find the dialogue that I wrote, screenshots from a movie that I did. So that's kind of cool. Kind of.
Joe Ferris said, "Nice. It's time for him to kick my ass."
He wants me to kick his ass.
You're awesome, Joe.
Okay. What do I charge for that service? Kick your ass and make you famous.
What are you gonna pay him? What are you gonna pay Barry to kick your ass?
So you become famous for it. I have a good track record.
Yes. God.
Yeah, maybe I'll start making business cards. Kick your ass and make you famous for $1. I mean, if you do 100 of those a day,
you can auction that. You can auction that, like kicking your ass for $1, $1 right over here. Give me 2, give me 2, give me 3, give me 4. Kicking your ass for 4 right over here. Give me 5, give me 5. 500 over here. Me to kick your ass. I'll give you an ass kicking for 1,000. Give me 1,000. Give me 1,000. Give me 1,000 for one ass kicking. Sold. The guy wants his ass kicked for $1,000.
I could use a good ass kicking. Oh wait a minute.
That's the first time I ever did auction. I'm kind of proud of it.
For an ass kicking.
Sold for $1.
Sold for $1? That's all we could get for it?
God damn it, Joe. I fucking put it in for 1,000. God damn it. Trying to make you some money, Barry. That's all I'm doing.
You remember there was that scene in My Cousin Vinny where Joe Pesci's at the bar
I could use a good ass kicking.
I could use a good ass kicking. I'll take it.
That was one of my favorite lines, and I can never pull that joke off.
I can use a good ass kicking.
I tried doing it, and I can never pull it off.
Well, it depends on what bar you're in, I guess. If you're in the wrong bar, it's going to, okay.
So I don't want to be canceled, but I've been working on this bit about taking words and making them German, because you can just put like certain emphasis on the end of words.
Okay.
You know, things like I sure could use some snake-a-spittin'. Snake-a-spittin'? I do want a snake-a-spittin'. I'll give you, how about I don't know, come and drip it?
You're sounding more like Yiddish, though.
I don't know, like a come and drippin'? Sure.
Yeah.
How about we move on to a stupid fucking? Stupid fucking. Maybe after a 9 and 6-in? 9 and 6-in, yeah.
Well, you sound like a little old Jewish guy speaking Yiddish, which is part German.
It's a bit I'm working on. I haven't owned it completely.
No, I like it. I mean, when I'm in one of my classes at the high school I teach at, the Brazilian kids will just speak Portuguese to each other. I mean, the Hispanic kids will at least try, even if they're not good at English, they'll try. The Brazilian kids, the Brazzies, they will just speak Portuguese. And
Right.
I found the one way I get them to stop. I start speaking German, because I took German in high school.
Right.
So I was speaking with a Terminator type accent, like this kann ich nicht verstehen, was ich habe gesagt, ja? And because they get freaked out that, wait a minute, he knows a language that we don't know. So I'll just start speaking German, and they're just sitting there feeling all pissed off at me because they speak Portuguese to themselves, and I'm not in their clique. I can't speak.
What's it feel like, fucker? What's it feel like now, huh? You don't know what the fuck I'm saying?
Exactly. So I found it works. It doesn't work with the Hispanic kids. They will make an effort. The Brazilian kids with their Portuguese. I mean, so yeah, I will just speak German. So it's like I feel good that I'm actually able to take my high school German that I only took to piss my dad off, being a nice Jewish dad in the 70s.
Well, with the Hebrew and with the German, you got a nice haka too.
I can do the ha.
Yeah, the haka to you. So haka, exactly. So
it's the most unromantic language in the world. The way to say "I love you" in German is "Ich liebe dich." You know, someone says that to you, you pull your pants up and you leave.
That just sounds dirty as you say it.
Right. Ich liebe dich.
Did you tell me to suck your dick, you fucking perv? I ain't gonna fucking listen. You Nazi fucker. I ain't gonna. Wait, never mind. You're Jewish.
There you go. That's good. Yeah, call your Jewish
that was
Catholic.
wrong. That was wrong. That was wrong.
Calling the local chapter of the JDL, the Jewish Defense League. You don't fuck with them. Remember, they even had
Mazel tov, the Jewish lasers. Thank you for burning fucking California down, you cocksuckers.
Oh, that is actually my plan of the film festival I created in Rome, Georgia. Is
I'm a Christian, ish. Jesus was a Jew. Hello, yes, he wasn't a Christian. He was a Jew, you dumbasses. So anyway, I wanted to get that Mazel Tov pin that had Jewish lasers on it. I wanted to get that.
My plan with the Jewish lasers, like I said, the film festival I created is in Rome, Georgia. It's having its 20th anniversary this fall. You know who else is in Rome, Georgia, representing in Congress? Marjorie Taylor Greene.
What?
I'm hoping to show up at my film festival, running to her someplace in the street, and to get my cell phone. So wait a minute, I'm a Jewish laser.
Give me 5 minutes with that cunt.
I'm going to screw it. I am so hoping I run into her. I troll her all the time on Twitter. So I'm just hoping I can go there with my cell phone and say, okay, Jewish laser on kill, putting in coordinates, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and then have serial. Yep, I got it. Just to see what she says. I am so wanting to run into her.
Hold on just for a second. We've got Fred Carroll with us. He's got a podcast called Within the Head of Fred. He's got another podcast coming out called Fred, say it in here. We're talking to Barry Norman. Barry Norman is an actor, director, writer. He's got 7 books out. He's got an 8th one coming out called Bad Day for Grandpa. This guy has worked in the WCW. This guy has launched Live. This guy has launched 4 Non-Blondes. There's nothing this guy has not done except for be a goldsmith. This guy has done everything in the fucking world, including being right now a substitute teacher. He's a man. He's a beast. You need to get a hold of Fred Carroll too.
Okay, yes. Right said Fred.
Fred, get a hold of Barry Norman. I'll send you all the information. Yeah. So anyway, back to you.
Back to me. Anyway, you forgot to tell me I interviewed Lou Reed and Kurt Cobain for my radio show.
Oh my God!
I was somebody once.
Lou Reed.
That was
Velvet Underground. Velvet Underground.
I interviewed him. He was with U2 the night before at the Meadowlands when they did Satellite of Love with him. So that's what I talked to him about. I said, what was it like to go out there with, at that point, the biggest band in the world, U2, in 1992, and have them do your song? So yeah, he was a great. I've heard horrible things about him as an interview, and it can be very pissy. But no, he was.
You know what? Here's the thing, Barry. Here's the thing. It's who you are to them. Every time. Like, I don't know where these fucking people that call themselves journalists or anything else is. Like, just be a fucking person to somebody, and apparently they'll treat you like a person back.
It's amazing. Well, one thing I found out is what you don't do is my film festival, I had my program director was a savant. He knew everything about every film. He had an incredible eidetic memory. So we went to see Donnie Darko when it came out, and the director was there to do Q&A. So my program director gets called on to ask a question, and he asks one of those questions that takes 10 minutes because he wants to put in every reference he knows to prove to the director how brilliant he is before he actually asked the question, which wasn't really a question. So he got what this was. No, so he says something like Snarky. He says, okay, did you get enough references in there? I said, that wasn't a question. You were just trying to do this. Okay, there you go. Let me applaud. You're brilliant. You know more about film than anybody. It's like, so yeah, you don't ask questions that just to show how smart you are.
Right.
You go with someone prepared, and you just act like you act like a mensch.
I'm glad you know a lot. How about talking to me?
Asking a question that other people might want to actually know that's of interest to other people than you.
Exactly. I didn't get the dagger in the eye. What did that mean? Boom.
No, it was painful. I mean, it's like everyone was groaning because it's like, okay, this question will not stop until he mentions every single film reference that he can to show that I so understand your film. None of they do. I do.
The human mind is so fucked that you don't know what's going on in his mind. Like he wants to know everything.
Right.
Wants to know everything and thinks he's more brilliant than everybody else by asking everything else. But pinpoint it.
It doesn't work. I mean, like I said, he saw through it and he just absolutely, ripped the shit out of him after that. So
if you'll notice, Barry, this entire interview, I've only asked you one question.
And I'm trying to remember what that question was.
I don't know. I don't even know I asked it. I don't know.
Do you remember the Tomorrow Show with Tom Snyder? If not,
yes.
Dan Aykroyd, the original cast of Saturday Night Live, he did a great impersonation. Tom Snyder was the original host.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, he did. Yeah.
And so
I don't even know if I asked you a question, actually. I did. I said, no. No, I didn't even. That was actually no, because I said, "What's everything about you?"
Well, you give me good intro, so I am not complaining. But when Aykroyd would do Tom Snyder on Saturday Night Live, it was a brilliant thing. It was like, because Tom Snyder, whenever he had a guest on, he never did any research. You don't just say, we got Neil Simon here. Yeah, did Barefoot in the Park. Yeah, did The Goodbye Girl. How the heck do you do it? He's talking about Paul Simon. Oh, yes, Paul Simon as a guest. He's talking about Neil Simon. So that was his question. Hold on, how do you do it, right? We
had in Peoria. We had a morning show called Lytle and Lamb, and they would call up famous people, and they would do that. They would do like it was Paul Simon.
Screw up and say it was Neil Simon.
They would ask Neil Simon.
Paul Simon.
They'd ask Neil Simon questions. And they'd be like, no, you got the wrong guy. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. And then you go right back into another Neil Simon.
Right.
Like,
why do I have you? Who are you?
What was your best Broadway feeling? And Paul Simon would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
well, actually, Paul was on Broadway. He had that one, I forget, One Trick Pony that actually, I think, opened and closed the same night.
Oh, really?
He actually made a play out of that song.
Did he headline in it, or?
He was in it. It absolutely crashed and burned. But don't over research where you're going to ask them the most picayune questions just to prove how well you're digging into it, and then don't ask the wrong question because you have no idea who this person is. I mean, I actually got that once in an interview years ago for my movie theater. Because Barry Norman is the name. He's dead now, but he was the name of the movie critic for the BBC.
Yes. That's what fucks me up so bad. Like, when I'm researching you, it brings up
he comes up. Now, the funny thing is, you say you put my IMDb profile on there, right?
Yes.
Some of the pictures for some of my films, his picture.
Yes. When you look up Barry Norman on IMDb, there's
the old dead guy comes up.
The old dead guy, this old BBC guy. And I'm like, that ain't Barry. Like,
what makes it even worse is the last film that I produced myself is called Sticky Wicket. That Barry Norman has a book called Sticky Wicket. And like I said, his nickname in the BBC was the Roger Ebert of the BBC. Well, I met Roger Ebert when he was giving a talk at Turner Broadcasting when I worked for WCW. So I actually got the moderator to shut the talk down because here's the question I asked. I asked the question that says, when you were doing Siskel and Ebert, your partner, Gene Siskel, he came on a show. He said, I want to be the first film reviewer on record to say a movie turned me on. And so he mentioned the name of the movie that turned him on. I said, do you want to go right now for the record, say what movie turned you on? That's when the moderator said, okay, that's it. The interview is over. So I met him afterwards, because he was signing copies of this book. I hated this movie. So I asked him if he signed a copy for it. He goes, yes. He goes, what's your name? And I go, Barry Norman. So he just rolls his eyes. because he knows the other Barry Norman. So of course, the guy that asked the question that shut down his Q&A is now asking. So he probably thought I was just saying that to screw with him, or whatever. But he says, "Oh God, him again." So yeah, it's a thing. I'm not dead Barry Norman, who is he was a big thing. He was a film reviewer. He wrote a book, same title as one of my films, and he also has something to do with pickles. I'm not quite sure, but he has something to do with. I think he wrote a book about pickle preservation.
Not sure.
So yeah,
anyway, you're the alive Barry.
Barely. When he did die, I actually sent a note to the BBC. I said, "Look, I'm in film. Put me on the show to review films, and think of all the money you'll save. You don't have to change your graphics." So when you put that up, Barry Norman comes up, huh? Yeah, they didn't go for that.
God, I love you. I love you. I love that we stay in touch, like even off this, like every now and again, just like have a great conversation, like on Messenger and stuff like that. You're absolutely beautiful. We've been on for an hour and 15.
Oh, I'm so sorry to your listeners. I'm sorry, everybody.
You can never be sorry because you are wonderful. You're my fucking hero. You are who I want to be when I grow up, other than the other guy.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
You're absolutely fantastic. Barry, tell everybody where they can find you. Tell everybody where they can find your books, your movies, your everything, because you are fucking phenomenal.
You're a god among men. If you want to find my books, you can go to my website, barryrnorman.com. Bad Day for Grandpa will be on there later this year. Right now, my last book, which only came out a few months ago, Counting Pennies, is on there. So barryrnorman.com. If you want to find, there's only one of my films that you can see for free, and just go to Film Freeway, No Tears of Bankers. The name of the film is No Tears for Bankers.
Where can we find Deadbeat?
Deadbeats is hard to find. It was on.
I know. I fucking love dickhead. I'm like, I want to see this. Nick Foley's fucking in it.
You might have to go to something like eBay to see if someone's selling their copy of Best of Troma Dance 2. So that's where they put my film on the cover, Deadbeat starring Mick Foley. Troma isn't selling it. If you go to Troma.com, they say they're not selling it anymore. So maybe if enough people bother Troma, go to Troma.com and say, I want Deadbeats. I want your best at Troma.com. Other than that, try eBay. I mean, there's copies floating around there. There got to be. So,
all right.
Hopefully.
So, everything else, go ahead.
Like I said, No Tears for Bankers is the easiest film to find for free on the internet. Deadbeats Who Can't Find You. Rick's Canoe is another film that you can find. I made that in Santa Fe in 2005. That stars a great character actor who that was actually his last film. Valda Vargas was in Hatari with John Wayne. He was in Touch of Evil that was directed and starring Orson Welles, Charlton Heston playing a Mexican cop, and Janet Leigh. And what else was on? Oh, The Magnificent Seven. So Rick's Canoe starring me and Valda Vargas. No Tears for Bankers actually has my former best friend of 32 years, Sid Vicious, professional wrestler. He's in that film. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm suing him. He begged me to write his autobiography. We had a huge falling out, not over the book, so he won't let it come out. That would be actually book number 8.
Yeah, he can go fuck himself, and so can Steve.
Well, his health is not good. I
don't care.
So I actually just contacted his wife today. I sent her a copy. I said, "Tell him."
Oh, wait, are you talking about Sid or Steve?
Sid.
Steve?
I'm talking about Sid Vicious.
Oh, Sid. You're talking about Sid. Okay. I was talking about Steve as well. So anyway.
No, so I told his wife, I said, when he passes away, which unfortunately is going to be sooner rather than later, there's going to be a race to the bottom to write his biography, and they're going to put all the dirt that I wouldn't put in. No, I protected his ass. I mean, and the fact that he no-showed so many indie promotions, I didn't put that in there.
Fuck him.
I said it was because he injured his thumb because he was a semi-pro tiddlywink player. I said, and if you believe that. So that book isn't out yet. So hopefully that'll be out one day. Let's see, what else have I done? The books are easiest to find. My films, not so much. Contact Trauma insists that they get the Best of Trauma Dance Part 2 out so you can get your copy of Deadbeats. And that's it. Like I said, I have 3 movies that I'm working at now. Hopefully they'll be out next year. Hopefully they'll get done. It's not so easy to get films produced anymore because theatrical is dead. Nobody knows what streaming is going to be. So come to Everett High School. See me, watch me speak German to a bunch of Brazilian kids.
Teaching substitute live at...
I'm easy to find. I'm the guy with the most ridiculously colorful clothes where everyone else is wearing schmata. If you don't know what schmata means, that's Yiddish for crappy clothes.
I love this guy. Barry Norman. Barry Norman, thank you so much for being on Hangout. I'm going to close this out. Everybody, if you missed the rest of the show, go back and watch it. If you don't, you're a fucking loser. This guy is fucking fantastic. If you want to get a hold of him, get a hold of me, Mr. Holiday, at m.w.holiday on Facebook. Message me. All right, man. We will talk to you later. Here we go. Yeah, I've drank a lot of booze. So, from a room next to my bathroom in my basement, this has been my worst holiday. Good night, everybody.